Sometimes it seems that there is nothing new left in engine technology. We have seen everything, tried everything. But then a company makes a big bang that shakes the entire auto industry, and this time it has been done by Cummins. Yes, the same Cummins that has been considered synonymous with trust for decades. Now, it has come up with an engine that can not only change the way we think about fuel, but can also redefine the entire truck and heavy vehicle segment. But this is not an ordinary engine. There is a new idea hidden behind ETA technology that can challenge diesel, petrol, gas, even hydrogen. This engine is so advanced that even auto experts were shocked because it has a glimpse of the future. But the question is it really a game changer or just a show-off? Cummins had kept this project a secret for months, no leaks, no teasers. And now, suddenly, this engine has come out, which is not only more powerful but is also so clean and eco-friendly that even supporters of green energy are saluting it. After all, how will this engine shake up the entire auto industry, and why? Is it being called a game changer? Before moving ahead in the video, subscribe to the channel so that you can get information about technology first. Before knowing about that new engine of Cummins, why not first understand the story of this company? How a company that started small became such a big force in the global market today. This is not an overnight feat, but it is hidden in more than a century of hard work, innovation, and the dream of doing something big. The foundation of Cummins Company was laid in 1919 in Columbus, a small town in the state of Indiana, USA. That time, it was being seen as a simple engine manufacturing company, but the intentions of its founder, Claus Lyle Cummins, and his partner William Gleaton were very big. Claus Lyle was a mechanic, but he had a passion for technology and performance. He was sure that diesel engines could bring revolution, not only for heavy machines but also in everyday life. In the beginning, Cummins faced many difficulties. People were not used to diesel engines. Petrol engines were dominant. The company also suffered losses, but they did not give up. In the 1930s, Cummins first put its cars and trucks equipped with diesel engines on a long-distance test drive from New York to Los Angeles. It was a publicity stunt, but it showed people that diesel engines were fast, durable, and affordable. This is when the company's fortunes changed. After this, Cummins never looked back. During the Second World War, they supplied engines to the military. This strengthened the company and brought new confidence to the production line. By the 1950s, Cummins had become the most trusted name in the world of truck and bus engines in the US. Then, gradually, the company turned to the international market, first Latin America, then Europe, and finally Asia. Cummins' entry into India was also quite interesting. In 1962, Cummins started a joint venture with the Tata Group in Pune, India. It was named Tata Cummins, and this is where a new revolution of truck and bus engines started in India. Transporters, who earlier used to worry about their vehicles stopping frequently during trips, now got an engine that gave strong performance even on long routes. Gradually, Cummins entered not only the transport segment in India, but also railways, construction, power generation, and even marine engines. The special thing about Cummins was that it never relied on just one product. This company always invested in research and development, whether it was to increase fuel efficiency or bring environmentally clean technology. Today, Cummins is working in more than 190 countries of the world, and it has thousands of patents. The company now not only manufactures engines, but is also involved in hybrid and electric power systems, hydrogen fuel cell technology, and even software solutions. Cummins has become a big player in the global supply chain. It has manufacturing plants everywhere in the US, UK, China, India, Brazil, Germany. And the interesting thing is that the company no longer talks about just providing power, but is focusing on smart power. That is, there should be power, but it should be smart, sustainable, and future-ready. What is this new engine of Cummins? Now the question arises, what is this new engine of Cummins? What is so special in it that makes it different from other engines, and due to which there is so much commotion in the entire industry? So let's now unveil this secret as well. The name of the engine that Cummins has launched is X15N. This name may sound a bit technical, but its power and technology are so strong that its work is being praised more than the name. This engine was first introduced to the world in the year 2023, and since then, its discussion had started. But now, when its production and supply is slowly starting, companies and experts are considering it a game changer. Now you must be wondering, what is there in X15N that it is suddenly being discussed so much? So let us tell you that this engine is the result of Cummins' next generation thinking. This is not an ordinary diesel engine. Rather, it is a natural gas engine. That is, it does not run on petrol or diesel, but on fuel like CNG or RNG, renewable natural gas. And this is what makes it different from all others. Initially, it was shown in some selected events and motor shows, but then it was seen as a prototype. But now, when its production has started and big trucking operators are preparing to include it in their fleet, it has become clear that Cummins has played a very big gamble in that too, at the right time. Now, let's talk about its target segment, that is, for which vehicles has this engine been made. So the simple answer is, heavy-duty commercial vehicles, that is, those vehicles which carry heavy goods, daily travel, long distances, and on which the country's logistics industry depends. This especially includes long-haul trucks, large trailer vehicles, inner-city buses, machines running in mines, vehicles used at construction sites, and even railway engines. The Cummins X15N has been specially designed for these vehicles so that it not only delivers powerful performance but also reduces the cost of running it. It has a power of about 400 to 500 horsepower, which is enough to run any big truck. Now imagine if this much power is coming from CNG or renewable gas instead of diesel. Then how much savings will be there, and that too without compromising on performance. Cummins' planning is very clear. In the coming times, companies that operate hundreds of trucks or buses need an engine that is not only strong but also smart in terms of fuel, because in today's date, the prices of petrol and diesel are going up every day. And governments also now want companies to shift towards green energy. In such a situation, this X15N engine creates a perfect balance between performance, budget, and environment. Another important thing is that Cummins has designed this engine in such a way that it can be easily fitted in the existing trucks. That is, if a company wants to replace its old diesel trucks, then it does not need to change the vehicle. It just has to upgrade the engine. And this thing is making this model of Cummins more popular. There is another advantage with X15N. Servicing and maintenance is also easy, since this engine does not emit black smoke like diesel, and it does not have heavy components of the traditional type. It is also cheaper to maintain. This is also a relief for truck drivers because they will not have to go to the service station again and again. Cummins has designed this engine for markets like America, Canada, Europe, and India, where logistics and public transport is a big business, especially in India, where the supply of CNG has now moved from cities to highways. This engine can catch on very quickly. Not only this, Cummins plans to convert this X15N technology into even smaller and mid-segment engines in the future, so that it can reach every sector of buses and public transport. This X15N engine of Cummins is not just a new product, but a new direction, which is showing that the future of heavy vehicles is not in diesel, but in green and clean fuel. And Cummins is preparing to be at the forefront in this race. Let's talk about its smart control unit and engine software. This engine is completely monitored through software. As soon as there is more load on any part or the torque is less, then this control unit automatically adjusts the settings. The driver does not need to do anything. Apart from this, it also has an AI-based monitoring system, which analyzes the performance of the vehicle in real time and gives an alert in case of any problem. All this is connected to the company's server through cloud-based tracking, so that the truck owner or fleet manager can see the status of his truck from anywhere, be it the condition of the engine, fuel consumption, or maintenance schedule. Now let's come to another important aspect. How much will it cost? That is, the comparison of diesel engine versus X15N engine. If we talk about the initial price, then yes, the X15N engine is a bit expensive because its cost is higher due to new technology in support of green fuel. But the real difference is where the trucks run hundreds of kilometers every day. There, the operating cost, i.e., the cost of daily fuel and maintenance, makes a huge difference. The X15N engine runs on CNG or biogas, which is much cheaper than diesel. If estimated, there can be a saving of 15 to 20% per kilometer. If the company has a fleet of 100 trucks and each truck is running 300 to 400 kilometers daily, then the monthly fuel budget can be reduced by less. And this is what makes this engine cheaper and more profitable in the long term. Moreover, there are fewer breakdowns in it. The life of the parts is long, and the service interval is also long, meaning one does not have to go to the garage again and again. Now the question arises, whether this engine can be installed in old trucks, that is there a facility for retrofitting or not? So the answer is yes, of course there is. Cummins has made this engine with the special thought that if an old vehicle is running and the company wants to take it to clean energy, then there is no need to change the entire truck, only the engine has to be changed. And after some basic adjustments, the vehicle can be back on the road. Retrofitting means removing the engine of the old vehicle and installing a new engine, and modifying the rest of the setup a little according to the same system. The Cummins X15N is very modular in this respect, meaning its parts are designed in such a way that they can fit in different models. Yes, it does require some custom work according to the truck model, but it is much cheaper and easier than buying a new truck. Cummins itself is working on many retrofitting centers where old diesel trucks are being converted to CNG or biofuel-powered engines, especially in countries like India. America, and Europe, where governments want to phase out old vehicles, but it is difficult to convert everything to EV at once. This kind of technology is very useful there. Now the question arises that no matter how powerful the engine is, are we ready to get that kind of fuel on our roads? If Cummins' X15N engine runs on CNG, biogas, or hydrogen, are there enough fuel stations around the world to support these trucks? This question is absolutely legitimate, and the answer is not easy either, but there is hope. First of all, talking about CNG, this fuel is currently the most used option for X15N. In the US, especially in states like California, Texas, and New York, the number of CNG stations is constantly increasing. Public transport and school buses are already running on CNG there, so there is not much difficulty in expanding this infrastructure. Apart from this, many logistics companies are now building their own private CNG stations on the highway, so that fleet operations do not stop. Talking about Europe, the situation is good there too, especially in countries like Germany, Italy, Netherlands, and France. The European Union is already moving rapidly towards green energy and has also funded billions of euros to expand hydrogen fuel stations. Trucking companies in Europe are now also considering hybrid options, that is, wherever CNG is available, they will run on CNG, and where it is not available, they will run on backup diesel or hydrogen. Now talking about Asia, especially countries like India and China, the CNG infrastructure is growing rapidly here. India currently has more than 6,000 CNG stations, and this number is going to cross 10,000 in the next few years. The Indian government is running a special scheme for both CNG and electric charging stations on highways and expressways. The special thing is that the logistics sector in India is very big, and considering the fuel prices, CNG technology is being adopted rapidly. Now talking about hydrogen, there is a bit of a slow track here, because hydrogen is a new and expensive fuel. Its stations are very limited. Hydrogen fuel stations are only available in select cities in the US and Japan, and in Europe too, it is still at an early stage. But it is also true that many countries such as Germany and Japan are considering hydrogen as the main fuel of the future. There are plans to build hundreds of new hydrogen stations in the next 5 years. Cummins also understands this very well, so it did not stop at just making engines. The company has made a special plan in which it is strengthening both the service network and the fuel support infrastructure simultaneously. Cummins is now deploying trained engineers, mobile service units, and real-time support systems at every place where it has supplied engines. This means that even if a vehicle breaks down in a remote location, the Cummins team can reach it through GPS and fix it immediately. Apart from this, Cummins has also partnered with some major fuel distribution networks so that wherever the engines are sent, CNG and, in future, hydrogen supply can also be ensured. The company aims to have at least one reliable fuel support point within 100 kilometers of each of its customers by 2026. Will this engine also affect EV technology? Now a big question is also arising. When the whole world is moving towards electric vehicles, i.e. towards EV technology, then will this new engine of Cummins, which runs on fuel like CNG, biogas, or hydrogen, affect the EV sector? Or are these two paths different? Let's understand this in simple language. First of all, understand what is the focus of EVs electric vehicles. Clean energy, less pollution, and less maintenance. And Cummins' X15N engine is also on the same path. The only difference is that one runs on battery and the other on gas. Now, the thing to think about is that if an engine can travel long distances without diesel at low cost and without pollution, then doesn't the need for EV reduce? The answer to this is a bit complicated. The biggest challenge of EV technology is charging infrastructure, limited range of battery, and heavy weight. In the world of long-haul trucks, where trucks travel hundreds of kilometers every day, technology is not yet fully fitting in. Charging takes time, and on top of that, the cost of the battery is very high. In such a situation, this X15N engine from Cummins has come as an option that does not give a direct competition to EVs but compensates for the weaknesses of EV. That is, until EV trucks become fully practical. Engines like X15N will act as a reliable bridge for the logistics industry. This is for those who cannot shift to EV right now but definitely want to get rid of diesel. Now let's talk about whether this engine will push EV technology back. The answer is no, but it can definitely slow it down, because fleet owners or trucking companies will choose an engine that is cheaper, gives more range, and whose support system is already ready. And at present, CNG engines or hydrogen-based engines seem to be more reliable than EVs, especially in the case of heavy vehicles. But on the other hand, this move by Cummins can also force the EV sector to innovate more. When a gas-powered engine comes with such powerful and efficient technology, then EV companies will also have to improve their battery range, charging time, and performance. That is, both technologies are giving competition to each other, but at the same time, they are also giving pace to improve each other. Cummins itself is not cut off from the EV sector. They have also started working on hydrogen fuel cells, electric motors, and hybrid power solutions. That is, their thinking is not that EV and gas engines are enemies of each other, but both have to be balanced. Whatever is better should be used. So the overall thing is that Cummins's X15N engine has brought the power of a huge alternative. It is for those people who cannot buy EV immediately but want a clean, economical, and strong option. This engine will not end EV technology but will definitely inspire it to improve more rapidly. That is, if you are thinking that the future will run only on batteries, then not yet. But if you ask whether an engine with green fuel can compete with EV, then the answer will be absolutely yes.